Okay, we are recording. Okay, so I'll just
So
introduce who you are, and I will let you take over, Stephanie.
okay.
So this is, I know Julie knows who I am, but this is for the benefit of other people watching too. First of all, I love my job. I am wearing sweatpants and made my outfit look fancy because in coach life, you can go pick up your kid and make it to a meeting. That is why I got on here late.
I'm on yoga pants.
Well, and so the jacket is making this look a little bit nicer, but there's sweatpants underneath there. Anyhow, so my name is Tess. I live in Atlanta. I have now been a coach for 4 years on Stephanie's team. I always tell everybody, like, Stephanie asked me like 5 times for so many years before I even agreed. And I just never wanted to do it because I just didn't want to, and I don't have time, doctor life was hard enough. And then she's like, just try it out. And I did, and wound up loving it. And she was right. So I wish I had started 4 years prior, but that's water under the bridge. I'm happy to be here now. And now I've gone part-time. So I could have gone part-time sooner, but it is what it is. And so part of what we do is we coach other people to live their best life and to get healthy. We provide the total solution. So we include nutrition, and we include workouts and support. And so the workouts, we have over 800 of them to choose from. And as coaches, we help you find out what your goals are and find a program that suits your lifestyle, and then help you complete it and get results. We also now have, somebody else. And so we also have 2 nutrition programs that we are, that is open to us. Oh, hi, Hina. We have 2 nutrition programs that are open to us, and Stephanie is actually certified in one of the programs. And it's actually the program that I'm doing, myself and Joe are doing. It works for our family and our lifestyle, and just makes it much easy. Stephanie was in the test group, I believe, and she has had remarkable results using the same program. And so for those who are just popping in, Stephanie is my mentor. Stephanie is the reason I'm part of this coach. She is just the most nicest person you'll ever meet, and the most accessible. So, and a great gift giver. So I cannot say enough.
Did you like your gift?
I loved my gift. After I found out who it's from, yes. Look hard in that gift, but yes, I loved it.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Tess. I think you oversold me as being the nicest person, but I really, really appreciate you letting me be on this call. We were talking about how we can add value to people, especially during this time. And I got certified in 2B Mindset, and I said, hey, why don't I teach a nutrition course, a short version of 2B Mindset? I'm not a nutrition expert. I'm just certified in a nutrition program called 2B Mindset. And so I just thought I would love to share with you guys what has helped me lose 20 pounds. It helps me feel better. It's given me a better relationship with food. I come from a long line of diabetes. My dad was about 350 pounds most of my life. My grandmother was probably over 300 pounds. And I just refused to go down a path of yo-yo dieting and fad diets. And so I absolutely refused to do that. And so I went to go see a doctor because I was gaining weight, brain fog, all the things, those fun things that when you turn 40, you'll learn that, Julie, when you turn 40, you're not there yet, but when you turn 40, sometimes your body just plays little tricks on you. And so I went to see a doctor that dealt with functional medicine to kind of help me figure out what's going on with my body. I didn't want to do yo-yo diets or whatever. And so through $30,000 worth of tests and $800 worth of supplements, I started this program, ended up in the hospital with stroke-like symptoms. So 24 hours in hospital, all the tests, MRI, because I was having tingling on the right side of my body. And so at that point, my husband's like, no more quack doctors, we're not doing that. We're just going to eat healthy. And I just was really nervous because I was really struggling. And so fast forward about a month, I was at a meeting and heard this lady's story of this new nutrition program called 2B Mindset. And she just spoke to me. I sat there crying as she shared her story of losing 100 pounds, and she shared about how she helped with her mindset and how having a healthier relationship with food. And that is my goal. Like, I want to have a healthy relationship with food, and that's more important to me than what the number on a scale. And it was just it was so cool for me to hear from someone who got what it's like to struggle with food, what it's like to have a unhealthy relationship with food. And so I was like, throw that $800 worth of supplements away. I begged to be in the test group for the program. And so that's kind of my story. So that's how I started. And so I want to kind of teach you guys something that I think will be, especially as we're going into the holidays, that will be very helpful as we're going forward. And if you could have these 4 principles in the next 2 months, as you're, or month and a half as we're going into the holidays, I think you will not see that gain that you have seen before. And if, like Tess talked about, getting a little bit more specific, you will see huge results, I believe. Or let's just say, like, let's not even gain the normal 15 that we gain during the holidays, right? So that's something that I think is a really great goal. So what is to be mindset? And how did we get started, and how can you get started? So one of the first things that she taught us was these 4 principles. One, she told us, okay, I want you to eat more vegetables. That's pretty easy, right? I want you to eat more vegetables. The second thing is, I want you to drink more water. I want you to drink half your body weight in water. Hi. And so drink half, look, and Julie's drinking her water, drink half your body weight in water. Okay. The next part is to track anything you eat. Now, this was a whole new thing, because not a new principle. It's been around for a long time. But tracking what you eat, and no food is bad, but just write down, if you had 2 cookies, write down 2 cookies, whatever it is. And then the last part was to weigh yourself every day. Every morning after you got up, went to the bathroom, weigh yourself naked, and write it down. And so that was just kind of how we started. And that's really the basics of to be mindset. It's very simple. And you're like, okay, now I just got on a call, like, for things I already knew, right? But it's so simple, but it's also so easy for us not to do. And so that first week of us kind of being in the test group, we started just working on that. Adding more vegetables to our meal, writing down everything we ate, drinking more water, and weighing ourselves every day. And it was so interesting, because I don't know about you guys, but I probably think in my mind I eat a lot better than I do. But when I started writing it down, I was like, oh, yeah, I don't eat as great as I think I do. And it just started to make really a lot of sense. The next step of that training in to be mindset has to do with what you eat. Not only, those 4 principles, but also food groups. So kind of classifying food groups a little bit different than probably you've heard before. Okay, so we have, and what those food groups do for our body. So let's talk about those food groups. First is protein. We all know protein, we've heard of all the keto diets and all the things. Protein, protein sticks with us. It stays with our body and helps sustain our day. And so that's really, really important. It's the stick-to-itiveness that our body needs. The other, and this is obviously very technical, Test, as I'm talking to a doctor about all the nutrition programs, but so the protein kind of sticks with you, kind of stays with you, helps you sustain and give you that energy during the day. But carbohydrates actually give you the energy. Carbohydrates are actually good for your body, and you need carbohydrates for energy. The other part is vegetables. And what vegetables do is they fill up your tummy, they fill up your stomach to make you feel more full. And so that's what the function of vegetables are. And then we also have classify other foods as accessories. Those are just like fun little things that help you eat more vegetables. And so that's basically what to be mindset is. It's eating more veggies like we talked about. And then classifying things a little bit differently. So you don't necessarily need carbohydrates at night, right? Because you don't need energy at night. Like right now, it's 6:45 my time. I don't need carbohydrates to be able to go to bed, right? So carbohydrates for dinner are just not really necessary, but they're definitely necessary in the mornings to kind of help me get going, sustain my day, and that sort of thing. So when we started classifying the foods a little bit differently and that they had a purpose, you start to kind of have a better relationship with food, right? Because you'll say, okay, do I need that carb? Do I need energy right now? Not really. Do I need those accessories? And accessories can be anything from salad dressing to avocado to, healthy fats or whatever. Do I actually need those accessories? Yes, because they're going to help me eat more veggies. Because how many of you guys think veggies remind you of, and I don't know how you guys were raised, but I was raised in the South, and canned green beans were vegetables. So that was like the vegetables we got with maybe some bacon in them, and that was kind of that was kind of vegetables we had. My mom, bless her heart, the vegetables she would make tasted disgusting. Broccoli that was just like soggy, and like that's just kind of how so to me, I'm like, vegetables, like, ugh, I don't like vegetables. But the accessories, the way you cook those vegetables, helps you eat more veggies and you like them, right? I mean, if you like carrots, you may not like carrots by themselves, but you like them with ranch, right? So the accessories help you eat more veggies. The protein is what helps you sustain your day, sustain your energy, and then carbohydrates are giving you energy.
You can even use bacon as an accessory.
Yes, and bacon, and you can have bacon with green beans, right?
I mean, not strips and strips, but for flavoring, so chop it in.
For flavor.
The only reason my son now eats broccoli and cabbage, Brussels sprouts and cabbage, is because there's bacon bits in it. So it works.
Now I want Brussels sprouts. Yeah, so that's basically what To Be Mindset is. And so, for example, in the morning, and I'll share one of the meals that it is. So, okay, so you're like, okay, Stephanie, I know I'm supposed to drink water. I know I'm supposed to, hey, I'm on a call. I'm supposed to drink water. I know I'm supposed to weigh myself. I know I'm supposed to eat veggies, all those 4 things. So how does that work in my daily life, right? How is that different than what I'm doing, or how do I do that in my daily life? So let's look at your plate. Okay, like your plate. In the morning, half of your plate should be carbohydrates and half of your plate should be protein. So like for our family, we drink Shakeology. Shakeology is the healthiest meal of the day. It's a daily dose of dense nutrition. It's got 17 grams of protein. And so that is a really, really great protein that's going to sustain my day, right? But I also can add fruit with it. And the fruit is actually a carbohydrate, which is a little bit different than the way that we've seen carbohydrates in the past. Butternut squash is a carbohydrate. Corn is my husband thinks that corn is a vegetable. It's actually a carbohydrate, so he was raised in the South. So he thinks that like a healthy square meal is like fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and corn. And that's like a really healthy meal, he thinks. So it is not. So those are just kind of the things that, so in the morning we would have our Shakeology and with some fruit or whatever in it. And sometimes if we were still hungry after that, we would have maybe some egg and some toast. So our morning breakfast would be kind of a heartier breakfast. And then lunch would be, we would add more veggies, less carbs. And then as we went on, and then at night, no carbs. I'm just sharing with you just a very, very light version of To Be Mindset. But To Be Mindset is available where Alana, who does a much better job than I do, explains it. She also explains the mindset. She explains emotional eating. Here's an example. How many of you guys are watching TV, totally not hungry at all, and then all of a sudden there's a pizza commercial that goes on, and then all of a sudden you cannot wait to get pizza, right? How many of you guys are like that? Yes? Okay, did you know that eating is actually like this? They're making that sensory eating. So you're not necessarily hungry, But the senses, your sight, now you're like triggered that you're hungry, but you're not really necessarily hungry, but it's a sensory hunger. Another thing is, like, if you've ever gone to the mall and Aunt Annie's, those like, those, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
And you never go to the mall thinking, oh, I'm going to go to the mall because I want some pretzels. No, like, you're never thinking I'm going to go to the mall. So if you were actually hungry for pretzels, you would go to the mall for pretzels, right? If your stomach was growling and you're really hungry, you're not hungry for pretzels. But then you go to the mall, you smell the pretzels, and what now? You have to have the pretzels, right? So she kind of helps you with a lot of those. How can you figure out, okay, am I actually hungry? Do I, or is it sensory hunger? And helps you with kind of that. She helps you with parties. And a lot of us have parties coming up. Hopefully we're having some kind of parties with the holidays coming up. And how do you manage going to a party and eat and still eat healthily? How do you go to a party and still lose weight? Could you go to a party one night, have some champagne, have some treats, and still have a weight loss day? Yeah. And she teaches you how to do that. And so 2B Mindset is included in our challenge pack, which includes our workout programs, nutrition programs, and then Shakeology, which is what I love doing. And the reason I feel like Shakeology helped me lose that weight is because it was one meal that was consistent. I didn't have to figure out how my body was doing it. As I was tracking, I knew that Shakeology was consistent. And so if like yesterday I gained weight, I'd go, oh, but I ate out and I didn't know what kind of salt there was in, whatever I ate, but I had Shakeology. So I know my breakfast was the same as it was before. So that's not where I gained weight, but I can kind of see where I gained weight. And all of our bodies are different. And that's what I love about this program, is that it is intuitively eating. It's like you learning for your body how to lose weight. And I don't know about you, but my body is totally different than other people. People in the test group, some people could eat steak at night and have a weight loss day. Some people couldn't do that because our bodies are all different. And so I love the freedom of being able to have treats and just writing down. I love the freedom of just what what this program gave to me, the mindset. I feel so much better in my skin. I feel more confident because food doesn't have a hold on me. And I think that's really, really important. So anyway, do you guys have any questions? Is there anything I didn't cover, Tess?
No, you got everything. Oh, just the fact that there's no measuring. Like you can just be like with this program.
Oh yeah. So basically you use your plate and plate to measure your food. You're not having to measure out your food. There's no calories. There's no, no restrictions. You're eating all the food groups. It's not a yo-yo diet. It is something that's just very sustainable. Like I said, you can do it during the holidays. You can do it for a lifetime. It's not something that you're miserable trying to eat this way. And so what happens when you're miserable eating a certain way? You go back to the way that caused you to gain the weight. And so I feel like, and the thing I love about these, like I told you at the beginning, those 4 things when you were like, Stephanie, this is nothing new. I know those 4 things. I know I need to eat more veggies, which, by the way, in this nutrition program, she gives you these amazing recipes that you're actually going to like veggies. I know I need to drink water. She also gives you some tools on how to drink water. If you're like, okay, yeah, I know I need to drink water, but I don't know how. Maybe the scale kind of freaks you out, and she tells you some really practical ways of using the scale as a measurement and not a scary thing. And then tracking, like how do you, what the importance of writing down what you're eating.
I think we'll get any questions, Julie?
What was this question I had? Like serving size, I guess. Like I know there's portion, but like what if you have more serving? Like
it's not, there's no like portion sizes. So basically, like it sounds like really crazy. Well, I mean, she does kind of say, okay, like you know, a plate it would be like, you know, a piece of bread, maybe like I eat Dave's Killer bread.
Mhm.
So I like the smaller slices. They're like 70 calories each. And so I know 2 of those would be a carb. 2 eggs would be a protein, right? So I can kind of gauge that way. The thing is like, so like I told you for breakfast, we would eat our Shakeology and then we would have fruit with it. And we found that when we ate more than that in the morning, and this was us, and sometimes I would just drink Shakeology for dinner or whatever, just depending on the day. But sometimes for breakfast, I would have my Shakeology. And then if I was still hungry, then I would eat the eggs and the toast, right? And I would add to that. And I found that I was more, like my day was more sustainable. It just depends on your body. You know, and what you do is you drink 16 ounces of water before you eat your food. Okay. Then after you eat your food, then you drink more water. If you're still hungry, then you can eat more food.
Just practice with the water intake because we don't drink
Yeah.
water
So the
normally.
water helps. Yeah. Because the water helps kind of fill your stomach. And I don't know about you, I eat way too fast too. So that is something that helps me kind of slow down, you know, not be as hungry.
Okay.
I know a lot of people, I know
Sorry.
a lot of people, one of the other reasons we like doing this is just because you're not the special one. Like, you know, when you go to restaurants and I can't eat this, I can't eat, at least when we've gone to dinner parties where we take whatever everybody else got, no one's looking at our plate because it looks like everybody else's, maybe minus the carbs because most of the parties are at night. But like, we're not somebody, I mean, I always tell people to be different, but in this case, I don't have to be different. I can eat everything, but just not to eat the potatoes. But that's right. And nobody has to look at it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, oh, she's eating 2 carrot sticks and everybody else has a plate of like ribs, right? So, yeah, nobody pays attention, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, like you don't have to take like my mom used to do Jenny Craig and she would take her meals to the restaurant and like have them heat them up. And I was like, that sounds so miserable, you know? And that's like, this is like, you can eat at any restaurant and find stuff. And it's not necessarily just salad.
That's what I always think when I think healthy salad.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily salad. Now you might want to go to restaurants that have more vegetables, you know, like sauteed vegetables or
Chinese places, and you know, they have all like goes up chicken and broccoli. You're like, you don't have to skip the rice kind of thing, right? So the soups and stuff work. We had Thai last week, totally worked. So
what about like time frames when you should be eating these meals? Does that really matter?
No, I mean, no, she's not really big on like intermittent fasting or whatever. She just is big on just eating 3 meals a day. And then if you're still hungry in the afternoon, you can have a snack.
Okay.
yeah,
Which I kind of like 3 meals a day. I don't have to worry about, like, I don't want to be hungry all day long. You know, I don't want to eat and then 2 hours later I'm starving, you know, like I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Those are good questions.
Any other questions?
I can't think of one right now.
Okay, well, if you have any, Julie, just message me and I can handle it that way too. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate it.
Yes, I hope this helps. Like I said, I'm not a nutrition expert, but I do understand what it's like to gain weight. I do know what it's like to watch. I mean, my family members try all the different diets, like all the diets they tried, only to gain more back. You know, lose weight and then gain more back. I watched just how that hindered them from things that they loved and their weight. And I wanted to be healthy. So I'm not a fan of like quick weight loss and, you know, that sort of thing. I'm a fan of slow and steady. All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steffi.
Yes.